Eternal God, our Father, we thank you again afresh, dear God, for this day you've given us. Thank you for this opportunity to serve the seniors of East Baton Rouge Parish. Pray your blessings now upon this board, and we ask that you will lead and guide us in our discussions. We pray that everything that is accomplished here today will be for your glory. We ask these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Keep saying it. Professor Jackson, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Cole, can you do roll call for us, please?
Attorney Jennifer Rossi,
Here.
Miss Jerry Booker, Miss Glenda Gentry, Mr. William Dang, Attorney Steve Schilling, Representative C. Denise Marcel, Miss Jessica Griffin, Miss Patricia Williams, Reverend Leo Cyrus, Reverend Earl Domain, Professor Dorothy Jackson,
Here.
Miss Pamela Ann Mitchell,
Here.
Father Andrews, here, Miss Patricia Williams, Councilman Shauna Banks.
All right.
A quorum.
We do have a quorum, so I will open it up to public comment. There being none, we'll move on.
I guess I have a public comment. I'm one that's tried to make all the meetings and be very supportive of this council. And ever since sort of cast the vote to levy the tax, I've been very concerned, and I have spread the good word about what you're doing everywhere. I am concerned about Chris's investigative report last night, because every meeting I've been to said that any salary increases that would be given to the folks that are making almost below minimum wage right now. I talked to James this morning about the issue that Chris talked about, but I am very concerned, and the perception out there is not good, as you know, and this doesn't help make that perception any better. And I did not believe that people in higher level positions were going to receive those kinds of increases, and I do look forward to getting more information today at this meeting, because right now I am a little disturbed by what I have heard in these meetings, and then what I see on television. So I appreciate some information today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Public comments?
Any other public comments?
Hello. Sometimes that you can get the public comment wrong, and you can investigate and also good, but if you don't have the true facts, it shouldn't be said. And I am a senior, that makes us look very bad. For you all to run around here and give false information.
Can I ask you what was incorrect about what was reported?
Okay, we can't do that in public comments. If that's her comment, we can have her.
You can address her later.
We can address her later. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Okay.
Okay, there being none, we'll close it. Do I hear a motion? I know we've circulated the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from the February 15th, 2018 meeting?
So moved.
You want to move Professor Jackson, and you want to second Reverend Cyrus? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Now we have to move into executive session. Attorney Murphy Foster is here to meet with the board specifically, and I I know he has someplace to go, so there he is. And so we're going to go meet with him, and then we will return. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Do I hear a motion to move into executive session?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, opposed? Let's do it. Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to move, to come back from executive session into the official meeting?
I make a motion that we come back.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. And coming from executive session, I'm required to tell you that no votes were taken and no actions were taken. It was just discussion, so. Okay. So, that's what I was asking. Do I have to move to go out of order? I'd like to, I can do that. Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to go out of order so that we can address which one was it?
Action item
Action item
10, under finance, first page, 10.
Oh, okay. Action item 10, under finance, part B.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. I just wanted to, we released a statement just prior to coming into this meeting, so I just wanted to read it for everyone on the record, and then we're going to talk about that and maybe address some of Ms. Freiberg's concerns. Last night, as many of you saw or have heard, there was a news story published regarding East Baton Rouge Council on Aging staff. In an effort to clarify the misinformation, I would offer this statement as chairwoman. This board and staff have spent the past year focused on conducting its operations in a transparent manner with preparing to significantly increase the amount of services provided to seniors as a result of the voter-approved funding. During the October 2017 board meeting, the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging Board discussed and approved a new organizational model to align with the staff with the new size and scope of operations. It included the addition of staff members to adequately provide the services for seniors. This also included promotions of existing staff with greater roles and responsibilities fitting their experience and capabilities. This additional staffing capacity is clearly displayed by our recently released first quarter report. In the last 3 serving an additional 530 seniors. We have provided 859 hours of in-home community-based respite services, 3,018 units of material aid, such as nutritional supplements, walkers, and cleaning supplies have been supplied to our seniors of needed material aids. Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. We have served 23,570 hot meals at our senior centers across East Baton Rouge Parish, and we have delivered 72,610 meals through the Meals on Wheels program. These are just a few examples, with more plans in the works, including new senior centers in currently underserved areas of the parish. These accomplishments could not have been possible without our dedicated and committed staff. As a final note, I would like to add that all of our board meetings are open to the public and the recordings are available on our website. The quarterly report is also available for public consumption. I hope the public sees how the good work of this organization is meeting the needs of the many seniors in the parish, for the need is great and the work is important.
James, answer my question.
I did want to call on James to clarify a few things and answer any questions.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I serve as the CAO, and Human Resources does fall underneath my umbrella. I want to be specific in saying that today's discussion number 10 says approval of Phase 1 salary scale. So to be germane to the agenda, for those of you all who are new members, and welcome new members and public, what today's agenda topic says is that for the past several months, we've been talking about how do we go about planning a phased-in pay raise for those employees, and this board has led that discussion. And so today's agenda item is to talk about the phase one salary increases or hourly increases for the lowest paid employees of our organization. So that's what the agenda item is about. And I prepared a proposed salary range for all of our employees. And for you all who don't know, one of the things that we saw is that employees have been in positions for many, many years, as well as new hires, and they were being paid very low and didn't have any growth opportunity. So what the Personnel Committee asked the staff to do was to go back and to A, look at job descriptions, and we have all the job descriptions if you all want to see them. B, come up with a proposed salary range, pay range, so that employees know that they can grow. We've had employees who have made minimum wage or $9 8-9 years. And you wanted to take a look at that pay range to approve it so that employees can then have opportunities to grow, cook 1, 2, and 3, and knew they had a career progression. So I have that for discussion and for your review today on those proposed salary ranges as it relates to the agenda item. What I also have that has been asked from the Personnel Committee and you all is what everyone gets paid. Many of you all have asked that. How much do folks get paid? So I do have that item also for you all so that you can see what the current pay is, as well as our proposed salary range. And again, as you all stated, we knew that it may not be feasible to give everyone in the organization a pay raise at one time, but the board, decided let's start with the lowest of the lowest paid first. And in our case, that would be the homemakers. And also, it just so happened the lowest of the lowest paid are those who touch seniors most. So our homemakers go into the homes and tidy up homes and communicate with seniors and engage our seniors, as well as our drivers who deliver 40, 50, 60 meals a day. Those are our lowest paid. And so, and just to let you know, the salary range I am proposing for them is between $10 and $15. And right now, all of them start mostly at $9. Okay, so that is the agenda item. Now, I'm assuming that is germane to the discussion about the investigative report because we're talking about salaries, so I can also answer questions related to the investigative report and what you all have heard in the media.
So can you answer Faber?
Okay, but I just wanted to make sure you all understood what's on the agenda item and what's outside of it.
Can I just say something? So I didn't see the report. I only watched the news. So I didn't see the report, so it's going to be hard for me to follow.
Okay. So I can probably
because I don't know what the report said.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
Public records request.
Yes, a public records request was, thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
A public records request was submitted last Friday for all salaried employees that have received pay raises since 2016. Increases since 2016. You all didn't have any money in 2016 nor 2017, so.
Or 18.
And so that didn't apply. But in 2018, once the tax millage was here, we were able to do some things as it relates to employee pay and promotion. But going back to what Ms. Jennifer just read in her statement, the board anticipating the growth and the need of more staff, as well as before the tax came about, we went through a process where we rewrote job descriptions to better fit the needs and the demands post-tax millage. And for those of you all who don't know, in this organization, there's lots of merged positions. So you may have a C1 driver that has a title of C1 driver / maintenance because they may come to work and deliver congregate meals, and then they may get finished with the congregate meals and they will maintain the building. And so a lot of it happens when you don't have any money, and it's also most efficient because maybe that works best. And so we retooled a lot of the job descriptions. The board approved the new organizational structure that was to be implemented once the tax millage took effect. They did that in October, as well as we rewrote job descriptions and presented it to the board. So that began to be implemented once we got the tax money. And that included new job positions, merged job positions, new job titles, new positions. And we had a big job fair, and we were able to actually hire a few people from the job fair. But what Ms. Amor has always done was gave internal staff the opportunity to interview and to fill any promotional positions, because many of them, had other desires than just to being in maintenance or cook. They might have wanted to become a care manager or some other positions. So we were fortunate that a lot of the response that we gave to the media included included folks who moved into a better positions, or in their minds better positions that they applied for, that we internally promoted. One of those individuals is Ms. Bim, who has been an employee since 2013. And in 2013, she started off in marketing and resource development. Then she went on to resource development, that's fundraising. Then she went to INA director, overseeing about 18 programs. Then she moved into the executive assistant position. And post the tax, her duties extended, that she is the executive assistant as well as overseeing new tax programs. And her job description was changed. So this is the executive assistant job description, and then when we retooled and presented to the board the new job descriptions and new org chart, it has that new position, and it talks about, it's a lot more duties, but what I want to be specific about is she goes from just being being an executive assistant to now overseeing special senior events, so these fantastic crawfish bars and things that you all see, wellness, education, health and aging, senior emergency assistance. So for those of you all, including our wonderful council members that call and say, I got a senior that needs a wheelchair, I got a senior the roof is falling in, these all go to her, and she triages them and gets the assistance. Prescription drug program, that's something on the horizon that we promise to help seniors pay for prescriptions. Utility assistance, that's for those seniors who need assistance paying their utilities. And the intergenerational grandparents program that we haven't started yet, but that's where we're going to connect youth with seniors. So these were programs that she now oversees that we committed to in the campaign for the tax millage, that Ms. Amor decided instead of hiring someone for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 to do that job, because we didn't want to really add to the executive staff level, that she expanded her executive assistant job duties because she has a bachelor's and a master's in counseling and extensive experience in healthcare management and been with the organization since 2013. She extended her job duties and enhancing her career progression, which is what we try to do. And so that's where we are. And that included a salary increase of $48,000, from $48,000 to $68,000, correct?
Our job also includes, and correct me if I'm wrong, putting this together, trying to navigate, 15 professional people to get together for 2 hours on a Friday is hard to do. So all the other subcommittees too the committee meeting we had earlier, the little subcommittee meetings that Professor Jackson and I had to go to last week. So she organizes that and gets everybody together to make sure that we have a quorum, and she calls me the day before, we got our quorum. Okay, great. Or we sweat it out like we did yesterday. And so she also does that on top of these executive assistant and all the other duties that Dr. Gilmore just explained. And the Lotus Pantry. Is she?
Just launched the Lotus Pantry. That would be considered a special project or event. So she went from executive assistant to now overseeing a lot of these programs.
And one more thing.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Amar's executive assistant took a really great position for him and his family and his life and moved back to Bastrop to be closer to his family. Y'all remember Jay?
Yes.
Man who could do anything. And his position has never been really replaced. So he left, his salary remained, and Ms. Bim had to take over those duties plus her original duties plus the new duties that we now have her doing.
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure that was clear also.
And the truth is, to be honest with you, we did have, just so that you all know, and it's HR, so I can't get into details, Ms. Amor did interview executive assistants in this room.
55.
55. She was seeking an executive assistant. And when we looked at the budget, again, we didn't want to hire an additional person for $70,000, $80,000. She said, let's just take a portion of that, add it to Ms. Bim's salary, and give her these extended duties. And that's where we are today. And so that gives you a background, Ms. Banks and others who may not be aware. And so when the public request came through, it showed her, it didn't just show the lower wage employees, which we've always talked about, you all have always talked about providing increases, but it showed Ms. Bim's increase.
I would like to say, just coming recently from the private association sector and the nonprofit sector, for the duties you just described, that is a commiserate type of salary.
Oh, it's low.
I think so too. I think so too. Yes, Ms. Williams?
And I might add that there is nothing too low for her to do. She even rides the bus with us, the seniors, when we have to go places. So that's a part of her duty also.
She does.
I don't know if that's her duty, but that's
It's part of her,
But she
that would fall under the special events coordination, yes. And she also dictates who else ride buses. So, yeah.
So Dr. Gilmore said that because he had an opportunity to
ride.
ride the bus, which he did not enjoy.
I did.
I do like that word opportunity to ride the bus.
So she also coordinates those type of things. That's the history, and that's what happened. Her name came up because we were honest in saying these are the people. So it wasn't only the lower wage people who might have went from a cook to a care manager. Her position also came.
Any other questions from the board?
Well, wouldn't her donated time after our included in that?
I can't accept your comment right now, but we can talk about it later. Okay.
All right.
Anything else that you need to talk to us about that phase one salary?
Yeah, I'd like to take
specifically?
up the action item if possible.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, pass these out, please. Just remember, get one and then bring me the extras, and I'll make sure. Yeah. The one pager you're getting is the proposed salary ranges for the positions that we have.
Do you have one that indicates what's vacant and what's not?
No, I don't have that, but to be honest with you,
I think we have three, currently, Councilwoman, we have 3 vacancies. We have a vacancy on the second shift in the kitchen for a cook prep, and they cook, and they also prep the items for the morning shift. We have a vacancy in our C1 driver staff, and those, C1 means congregate meals. They deliver the meals to the senior centers, then they come back and they clean up, they cut the grass at all the property, they maintain all the facilities, particularly the ones we own. So that is another dual position. And I think the other third position is a care manager 1 and a care manager 2. Those are the first point of contact with every senior that we see. So a care manager has to do a assessment called the Louisiana Independent Living Assessment, and they go into the homes, they see the client, they assess them, they score them nutritionally and physically to see if they're fit and sound, and then they determine a continuum of care to wrap programs and projects around them to maintain their independency in their home. So currently we have 4 or 5 positions open.
So, also what you see, these are ranges. You're welcome.
That's it? No, not the staff
Not the
salary.
staff salaries, but
No.
that's not a public record. We'll get it. We'll get it to that. So, I don't want to be thrown off my communication. So, what you all have here are the proposed salary ranges. And as well as the current salary rates. And if you're wondering what the highlighted are the lowest of the lowest paid employees. Now, just so you know, Tasha A. Marks Clark as CEO, based on the don't want to say plan of government, but based on the policies, bylaws, she is the person that authorizes pay raises.
Right.
So we're not at, so your job is not for the CEO, or we don't bring you all every time we do a performance evaluation, are we ready to give a raise? You all don't approve pay raises. What we're asking you to do, and what the Personnel Committee asked us to do, is to present a range, proposed range. That's why I say but the highlighted are those that Tasha will eventually determine that they will receive. She is proposing a $1 raise for those employees that are highlighted yellow. Those are the homemakers and the drivers, okay? But you won't approve the dollars because that's not what you all do as a board. You all will approve the proposed ranges, okay?
With the exception, Dr. Gilmore, if, for example, we have some Meals on Wheels delivery drivers that have been with the agency 20 years and have never received an increase, and so they may get $1.50 or something a little longer because they train the new people.
Yeah.
And so you want to
compensate them additional.
Yes.
Yeah. For example, and she's right. We have homemakers that have been around 10, 12 years. 40 years. Mm-hmm. They may get $1.25. Tasha would make those determinations. But you all will see the pay range, and the employees actually like the pay range. We talk about the staff meeting because it gives them hope. They don't feel as if they're stuck in a position based on good performance, okay, and having funding. They can then, at their evaluations, or be eligible for pay raises. Okay, go ahead.
And y'all, it is hard to fill these positions. These people have to pass background checks, they have to pass drug tests, they have
National Sex Predator
Registry. You can't be on any of that. So there's a lot of requirements just to even possibly get them in the door. So if we're not paying them a reasonable amount of money, we're not going to get those quality people that can pass all that. Right. So, and I mean, this is happening in the kitchen and in a couple different areas where we just had trouble keeping people that are qualified, that can jump through all the hoops, and then want to come work with us. Right. Dr. Cole?
Dr. Gilmore, so one, couple of meetings ago, you gave us a range that was national or regional. I know this has to be below those ranges.
Okay, so we've done extensive research, and let me pay respect to the Personnel Committee. Pam, and I got your email this morning. We've all been so busy over the past couple of months since the last Personnel Committee meeting. Ms. Marcel has had medical issues and legislative session. The Personnel Committee didn't get a chance to see this. We decided to bring it to the board today because it's been difficult getting a quorum, getting all folks together. So yes, you all did ask for us to do some research as it relates to our current pay and compared nationally. And here's what I found. Our positions aren't even consistent with other COAs across the state. Number one, all of them, including the Governor's Office of Elderly Affairs, has admitted that we do far more work as relates to the number of meals we deliver, as relates to the number of activities. Basically, our workload here at EBR COA is bigger than all others, okay? So comparing a driver in one parish that might deliver 15 meals, and our driver delivers 50 to 60 meals a day, making $9 an hour, okay? Both may make $9 an hour. So yes, these are lower, okay? As well as, I asked Lano, we just became a member of the Louisiana Association of Nonprofit Organization. Even in their salary survey of nonprofits, we pay our folks lower. But what I'm proposing are ranges to actually over time, because you all have said we're not going to just throw a whole bunch of raises out there. Over time, we can phase in pay raises, and we have a range now that based on performance and merit, we can give some in the future. But at least people know that, hey, I may make $9 an hour, but with good hard work and staying here with the agency for 2, 3, or 4 years, I have the potential to make $15 an hour, or I have the potential to be able to qualify for another position. And so that's kind of the hope that we're also giving here. So yes, these are lower. And Dr. Cole, knowing how you've been pushing us to bring this to the table, we are recommending this range. Ms. Amar determines the pay raises. Okay, so we are recommending these ranges. Ms. Amar is the person that approves pay raises.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman.
So I'm just thinking about how many studies on the Metro Council that I have paid, that we are paying people to do, I know for DPW, it was 6 digits.
Yes.
And now we have something about I think it's the police department, like 40,000. And you've done this, I guess, within your duty. So.
You cannot have that.
Believe me, I probably couldn't. But just the idea, that you were able, that you did this, and this isn't something where you were conscious of the money, because you did try to contract it out for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000. That's a savings in it. And if, so I was just sitting here just thinking about how often before the council, so many things we contract instead of letting people who we're paying on salary to do. And this is an example of that. So, thank you. This is my first meeting, but I mean, this already has blown me away, that internally you did something that we waste money on the Metro Council all the time to do. So, and if we somebody got to, all these people are getting blessed by that. I mean, we gave a 2% raise to DPW and paid the consultant over $100,000. And then came back and increased their insurance, so they lost that. So, I mean, this is great management, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure your staff did.
Well, and Councilwoman, to his testament, he has been researching this for the last 6 weeks and running all over the city getting this information. And he's worked with our CFO, and we figured out for the first phase that it would be under $45,000 to bring all of these people on.
To pay.
Yes, that is the raise. The increases is $45,000. Or less, depending upon the amount that of the raise. Okay.
Thank you for the ranges.
Yes. It took us a minute, but we got it.
Okay.
Good job, Doc.
Do I hear a motion to approve these ranges as proposed by Dr. Gilmore and the staff?
I make a motion.
All right. Oh, we got Miss Pam on board. It's great. It's a great day, Miss Pam. It's a great day.
Okay, we'll take Dr. Gilmore's motion and Ms.
Dr.
Mitchell's,
Gilmore's motion.
Dr. Cole's motion. Too many doctors, doctor.
There's a lot of doctors.
Dr. Cole's motion and Ms. Mitchell's second. And do I hear all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that, Dr. Gilmore.
Okay. Now we can go back.
Now we'll go back to our proper order. Ms. Pratt, I believe that's you with the first quarter budget versus annual.
Okay, the first item on the financial report, committee report. The committee did meet this morning. Our chair was not present, but our board chair resided over that committee meeting.
Ms. Pratt, you want to come stand?
Near the
closer to the mics. Not really, huh?
She's got all her paper.
Yeah, bring your papers. You can hear? Okay.
Huh?
Come on. No. Okay.
Okay, the first item on the agenda will be the acceptance of the first quarter budget versus actual report. In your binder, I don't know what side is on the left now with me.
Let's see.
But it is the 8-page document. At the top, it says profit and loss budget versus actual. It's an 8-page document. All right, and in that document, this is as of March 31st. We have our total income, actual income, of $4,222,905, and total expenses for the same period ending March 31st is $3,325,378, resulting in a net ordinary income of $897,500. $7 at the end of the quarter ending March 31st. And I refer to it as the quarter because our fiscal year is from July 1 to June 30th, but the city's is from January through a calendar year basis, January to December. So we're actually operating two separate timeframe budgets under the same fiscal year. The next, so that's where we stand as far as the budget versus actual goals for the first quarter of the city and the third quarter for the state. And the committee, it was discussed in budget and finance committee this morning, and they approved the action for resolution, and I think that's where we are now.
And then Dr. Cole needs to read the resolution to us, and
Make a
then,
motion to accept the report and read the resolution.
okay. So do I hear a motion to accept Ms. Pratt's report?
So moved.
All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. And Dr. Cole, can you read the resolution for us, please?
Board resolution to adopt this instrument, acceptance of the budget versus actual report on the 20th day of April 2018 at a meeting of the Board of Directors of the East Baton Rouge Parish Council on Aging Incorporated, a corporation held in the city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with a quorum of the directors present. The following business was conducted. It was duly moved and seconded that the following resolution be adopted. Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the above-named corporation does hereby acknowledge and accept the third quarter budget versus actual report containing actual expenditures totaling $3,325,378 and an actual revenue totaling $4,222,905 as of March 31st, 2018. The above resolution was passed by a majority of those present and voting in accordance with the bylaws and articles of incorporation. I certify that the above foregoing constitutes a true and current copy of part of the minutes of a meeting of the Board of Directors held on the 20th day of April 2018.
Do I hear a motion to accept the resolution?
I make a motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right.
The next thing I would like to report is that the first quarter we received a total of $8,801,069 in millage tax revenue, and from that transfers, they did withhold, or we paid them for the election cost.
They mean in the city?
They mean in the city. And the election cost was $19,676. It was deducted from our first transfer that we received from the city on January 22nd. We've received 3 to date, as I said, and the total of those $8,801,069. At this point, we were projecting a $7.8 million on the millage. At this point, we're over by $981,000. So that's all good. That means we can provide more services to the seniors. In addition to that, I've given you copies of our balance sheet ending March 31st and our trial balance, which should be immediately following the budget versus actual. I want to note on the balance sheet that the money that was deposited into our operating account from the city, we have since then purchased 2 CDs and open a money market account until we can meet with, and we have had a meeting with Lee Bressler, who is with Raymond Jones Investment Agency. Raymond James, that's him. Raymond James Investment Agency. We're meeting with him. He's going to better help us to see how we can invest our money to earn more interest on our dollars. It was sitting in the bank, so I called our banker who has been working with us at Whitney Bank since I've been here, and I told him, I said, well, we need to put this money somewhere we can at least draw some interest until we have time to see what we have that we can invest. So he bought the 2 CDs for us and opened a money market account. And I wanted to let you see that on the balance sheet so you can see where the money is right now. We have, though, in the process, we have purchased a lot of things that we need in order to get the programs going. That includes, we purchased 2 vans. We're renting 5 vans, and all of this for the Meals on Wheels, for the Meals program. We're renting 5 until ours come in, because we had to do the state contract bids and all that to purchase them. So they'll be scheduled to be in the end of this month. But we've done that. We've gotten our senior stat program off the ground. It's now up and going for our at the senior centers. The next one on board is...
Let me just interject, because everybody doesn't know. So Senior Stat is our new program that manages the seniors and their activities and their meals and their assessment. Everything now is electronic. every senior, be it if you're homebound or if you're in a senior center, or if you're just coming to an event, has a swipe card that's attached to them. And when you swipe the panel, then you get to choose your options and the activities that you will participate in that day. So if you're going to eat a meal, you'll hit, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to do Tai Chi, I'm going to do devotion, and they love it. And it keeps great records so that next year, for our audit, we won't have, well, Ms. Jones signed on Mr. Jones's line, because sometimes they couldn't keep up with the signature lines. So it's an automatic signature. When they deliver their meals to the home, the driver swipes the card or assists them in swiping the card. And we are also going to, our homemakers and our care managers will also have these items on tablets. So that will reduce the assessment time that the care managers are in the house. It normally takes an hour or two, but on a tablet, with just punching the information, it will calculate automatically. Oh, Miss So-and-so needs meals. She scored a 23. She's at high risk. She needs nutritional supplements. She needs a personal care attendant once a week to help her with bathing and home issues. And so now everything is electronic. It goes automatically to our database, to the state's database, and the state uploads it to the federal database.
That was my question.
That was your question.
About how long the data was going to be.
The data is maintained at the state. They maintain it 10 years in our system, and we have a cloud somewhere in Missouri somewhere, and it's going to maintain for 5 to 7 years.
Is it expensive?
The senior stat system and rollout cost us about $170,000.
For what it does, I really feel like that's not very
Right, it's not, and it eliminates us needing so many data entry clerks and people back checking the logs
And human error.
paper and human error, and seniors not remembering to sign up for this event or that event, or for their meals. And so it keeps an accurate account on each meal, and it also translates to the kitchen staff so they know, okay, 1,000 seniors say they want to eat tomorrow, then they can cook just enough and we don't have spillage and overage. So it's a great system. We're enjoying it. The seniors are enjoying it, and the state and the feds are enjoying it. So.
I think Ms. Mitchell has a comment about it.
Yes, Ms. Mitchell.
Did you have a comment about the new system?
It's very popular at the central.
At the Central Senior Center?
We all like it. We run around with our cars.
Oh, good, good, okay.
Okay, the next thing I have is the amended budget. And what, in your packet I have, there's one that's called a combined operating budget. Okay.
Got it.
And on that particular one, there were 3 items that I need to bring to your attention that we have amended. The first one, of course, would be in reference to the report Dr. Gilmore gave about the salaries that was amended in this particular report. And also, we've added a food pantry that wasn't originally approved by the board. And you want to tell me about the food pantry?
Well, the Lotus Pantry is it's a cooperative agreement with the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, where now we are able to provide our seniors, particularly those that live in the food desert areas and meet a certain financial guideline according to the federal poverty guideline. They have an opportunity to come into our facility now and shop for needed items. They can get fresh produce, milk, nutritional supplements, depends, personal items. And so we, the Greater Baton Rouge Area Food Bank, came to us and said, let's see if we can work together to assist seniors more. And this program is starting to grow. We have a pantry now, and we'll be talking about shortly delivering these same items to our homebound seniors who cannot get to the pantry. And so once or twice a month, we'll deliver them fresh produce and fruit where they can make a salad. They can't cook, but they can make a salad, or they can eat some fruit in excess of the fruit that we give them during the week. And so it was not planned in our strategic plan, but it was an opportunity that we did not want to miss for our seniors. We want to afford them everything that they need, and so the seniors love it. It's like a mini store. We have carts. They walk around, they shop, and they get to pick. If they don't want pinto beans, they can pick red beans. So it's a great thing for everybody.
And this was one of the items, as I said, that was not in the original budget that you guys approved last November. The cost we project will only be about $50,000. We have the space already, but we have to have, we don't always get the freshest of produce for our pantry, so we thought that we might be able to purchase, to add to what we get from the food bank and from the USDA. Then the last thing, that notable change on the budget, is the establishment of the 5 senior centers. As you notice, we had postponed the senior center openings, the new openings, until 2019. But because we did not move, the building for the city is not ready yet from the city. So a lot of expenditures that we thought we were going to incur in this budget are not happening this year. And then too, with the additional funds that we got from the millage tax, we thought that it's possible that we will be able to open those additional 5 senior center sites in FY18 as opposed to waiting to 19. And Tasha can tell you.
So we have been, and we're still working it out.
Yeah.
The attorney, Murphy, is crafting the CEA agreement, but we have been in talks with the superintendent of BREC, and they want us to utilize their locations, so we won't have to pay for facilities, but what we will provide is staffing, the activities, and all the things that the seniors need in buildings that sit empty and vacant in the mornings anyway. So we're proposing to utilize their facilities from 8 to 2:30 and run program in senior centers and those facilities. It'll keep the cost down for a building, but it's a great collaboration between 2 entities to work and promote senior health and senior fitness and senior independent living. So the 5 locations, and I didn't want to announce this today because we're still working on the CEA. We have 5 projected locations. One is at Olympia Stadium at the park at Perkins and Kenilworth. That community is rapidly aging, and they have been asking for a senior center. One is at Harold's Ferry Road, the new senior facility that they're building. One, and I don't remember the name, but it's up in Port Hudson, a senior center for them because there's a heavy population. It's Flanker. Thank you, Flanker Park, Flanker Road Park, and the other is Gardia Lane, and then the 5th one, Dr. Gilmore, Shenandoah Jones Creek Park. So those are 5 senior centers that we're going to try to get online before the end of next monxt. If we can, if the attorney,
not the end of next month, the CA
end of May,
next month.
I said, look, they like you push, but
get it going.
I think we can do it by the end of next month, but they're going to try to buy some time. So we're trying to get it in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Is that better, Dr. Gilmore? And it'll be a great win-win for both agencies and also for the seniors in those communities who haven't had an opportunity to have a senior center close to their home, because seniors don't like to drive 5 and 10 miles past their area, and so we're trying to keep them centralized when we know there's heavy populations of seniors. So we look forward to that happening. So we're budgeting for a senior center coordinator at each of those facilities, plus supplies that they'll need, games and activities and tables and chairs and that sort of thing. So that's what she's putting in the budget currently.
Right. And those are the only additions that I have for the new budget changes. The second, the next packet it has. I broke my budgets down because I told you there are 2 different fiscal years going on. Now the millage tax budget, I did a comparison between what was approved in October and what is proposed for today. And as we can see, and the date at the top of it is April 20th. Okay. As you can see, the revenue has gone from 7.8 million to 8.8, and that's a little over $1 million. And most of the changes, as we talked about, the reason we're able to make these changes or at this point is because we are not going to be in the building downtown this year. All right, and a lot of things that we were going to use the money for there, we don't have to, but we do have to use some of that money to make the building that we're in at least livable, because we've had, there's still major roofing issues in that building, and every time we try to spruce it up and get it looking good, it'll rain rain and the ceiling will fall in on us. But
Yeah.
we just have to patch it up and keep patching until we can get out of there. But anyway, we will have to use money to be able to stay where we are. On this particular budget, we're going to set aside a $880,000 reserve, and that's up to 10%, which GAAP will allow you to do on public funds. So we're going to, when we get with the investment guide, we're going to probably invest that for longer than a year, which will be long-term investment of some type. So we will have a reserve at the end of the calendar year. We're projecting one anyway. And the last one is the one that we have to do for the Governor's Office on Elderly Affairs, and it's called revised budget. It says general, same date. And the only change that we really made there, they didn't give us any additional monies, so there was no change there. But we did shift some salaries around because now we are able to use more labor for this grant as opposed to having to spread it out somewhere else. We were getting $872,000 from the city. Almost all of that was put back into our operations, and most of it went to support the federal grants that we get through the governor's office. So the total dollar amount won't change, but I'm just shifting from more operation and services to salaries for our employees. Unless it changes on that.
So we move to, do I hear a motion to accept Ms. Pratt's revised budget as stated?
Make a motion to accept the revised budget.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. And then, Dr. Cole, can you read the resolution for us, please?
Board resolution to adopt this instrument, acceptance of the fiscal year 2018 amended budget on the 20th day of April 2018 at a meeting of the Board of Directors of the East Baton Rouge Parish Council on Aging Incorporated, a corporation held in the city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana State of Louisiana, with a quorum of directors present. The following business was conducted. It was duly moved and seconded that the following resolution be adopted. Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the above-named corporation does hereby acknowledge and accept the fiscal 2017-2018 amended budget containing expenditures totaling $10,203,646 and the revenue totaling $11,083,753 as of March 31st, 2018. The above resolution was passed by a majority of those present and voted in accordance with the bylaws and articles of incorporation. I certify that the above and foregoing constitute a true and correct copy of a part of the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Directors held on the 20th day of April 2018.
And do I hear a motion to accept the resolution?
I make a motion that we accept the resolution.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
On item, Madam Chair, on
Yes.
item 5, I want to discuss the programmatic quarterly aspect. Ms. Pratt discussed the finances.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just for item 5, Ms. Pratt discussed the quarterly finances for the first quarter, and Dr. Gilmore and I want to discuss the programmatic activities. This, we have had a stellar first quarter this year. Our service and our numbers and our units have tripled for many of our services in this first quarter. We had our Meals on Wheels rollout where we, one, eliminated the waiting list for Meals on Wheels, and two, we added an additional 150 people as well as the folks that we took off the Meals on Wheels waiting list. Around this time last year, at the same quarter, we did 23,000 Meals on Wheels meals. This quarter, we have done 72,610 meals already as of March 31st. We have done 872 seniors have received assistance with their power to care and their energy. We have made 1,210 visits in the homes. My care managers have done that. 859 respite units. 3,018 seniors either received some material aid, being an incontinence supply, boosting Insure. We gave a 98-year-old lady, we were able to get her a wheelchair. She still lives at home by herself, but she needed a wheelchair to be able to maneuver better. We just did 25 shower chairs. We've increased our programmatic activities. We've introduced the seniors to yoga, senior yoga and senior Tai Chi, which they are really loving. At first they thought it was a dance, but then they learned it's actually helping them with their flexibility and relieving their stress issues. In capital outlay, we've spent $165,000 on 7 new vans and for Meals on Wheels, as well as a big box trucks, so that we could pick up our USDA and our distribution from food bank, which averages about 8,000 to 10,000 pounds every Friday and Wednesday. We're picking that up. We spent $21,000 on the enhancement at the Baker Senior Center, and that corporate endeavor agreement with them, the city of Baker is loving it. Did I forget anything, Dr. Gilmore? And so these
Open up a computer lab.
we opened up the Lotus Lab, and the group of the seniors are coming from all over the parish to the Senior Clickers program. It's called Seniors on the Gram, Seniors on the Book. They on the Facebook. They learning Instagram. They're learning email. They're gonna learn how to do Excel spreadsheets and Microsoft Word letters and those kind of things. So we opened up a computer lab.
Which is awesome because a lot of people can't afford a computer at their own house, and so now they'll have access and know how to use it.
Right.
And one of the most touching questions, and I know we've all experienced this, and we love our libraries, by the way, but one senior said, am I timed? How many minutes? How many minutes are you giving me? I said, guess what? There's no time limit. Just come on in. So they were excited about that.
And so that's just some of the things for the first quarter. We had our usual citywide activities. We had a crawfish boil. We were expecting about 800. We end up with about 1,300 seniors participating, and we're looking forward to our next quarters. And so you'll be seeing this in ads, in the Lotus Pantry ad, and in the vein of transparency and accountability and working with our new marketing team. These are being mailed to the constituents and to the home so they can know where the millage money is going. And it's called the first quarter in your box. And this lady's at her mailbox, and she's an actual Council on Aging senior. And so we are doing our best to disseminate information directly from us that's not skewed or misconstrued.
And something similar will eventually be mailed out when we open the new centers in the new locations. They'll get it in their mailbox.
Right. So
Required to disseminate information.
information dissemination is required. It's a federal requirement. Okay.
All right.
That's it.
So now we're moving on to purchasing and procurement.
Yes. Will, you want to give your report about purchasing and procurement? For you all that's new, Councilwoman Will Geron is our new purchasing and procurement agent, director, I guess is his title. He comes with a vast wealth of experience. He was a purchasing and procurement agent for HUD. He also was, he's done it for the state, and he was also a Council on Aging director for Lafayette. And so he has a wealth of knowledge about Council on Aging. And we found him at the job fair. That's crazy.
Hi, good afternoon, board members.
Come close to the mic, sir.
Right here. Good afternoon. This procurement report covers March 1st, 2018 through April 20th, 2018. A request for qualifications was posted in the Advocate for Architecture and Engineering Services. This was a solicitation procured under Attorney General Opinion number 140033, Louisiana Revised Statute 382212, and Louisiana Revised Statute 382225.2, which states, according to Attorney General Opinion, public entities must employ the design bid build method which would require the public entity to first obtain the services of a design professional and then publicly bid the construction of the project pursuant to the public bid law. We're contracting A&E firms to manage and design the agency's capital fund public works construction projects going forward. A total of 643 firms were notified via the agency's e-procurement system. 33 firms reviewed the proposals. 3 firms were disqualified as non-responsive. They did not attend the pre-proposal conference. 30 firms requested proposal packets. 15 firms attended a pre-proposal conference. 5 firms submitted a proposal, and 5 firms were evaluated, scored, and ranked. The top 2 firms were selected for negotiations. We have 1 firm from Baton Rouge, Valtech and Associates, have been contracted for A&E services, and 1 firm from Metairie, Meyer and Associates, are currently in negotiations.
Tell them what the projects are.
Well, currently, we have on our project portfolio, we have the,
Jennifer, we have a portfolio. Huh?
you want to talk about the renovations to the fire
Yeah,
station?
no. Go ahead.
Okay, which one do we have? We have the,
Parking lot.
Okay.
Okay.
we have 2 major projects in our portfolio right now. The Dumas House parking lot demolition and resurfacing. Currently, when it rains, there's enough commercial development around the Dumas House. So when it rains a lot, it floods the seniors' parking lot, which causes a major issue for our clients. So the plan going forward is to have a design professional come in, do some studies, demolish that lot, raise it up, and resurface it, so when it floods, it won't flood out our seniors' cars. So it'll be a safer place for our seniors to be.
Right.
And what's else?
Homewood.
Not right now. Once we get a A&E firm on board, they do a cost estimate report, and we put a budget together and we go forward.
Do we have to do an impact study on that?
Yes, sir. And we have to bid that out. Okay. Also, Homewood renovations. Our aquatic pool center, the seniors have been, well, in the past, they've enjoyed, swimming in the pool, doing some exercise in the pool. There's some major repairs that need to be done on that pool center. So we're going to have a firm come in, do an assessment, put a cost together for us, bid it out, and get that repaired for our seniors. Hopefully for the summer is our deadline we're looking at, but we'll see. Get through 30-day bid on it, so we can.
Right.
In addition, a request for proposals for information technology support services was posted in the Advocate. This solicitation was procured under Louisiana Revised Statute 39198 and Louisiana Revised Statute 39199. A total of 940 firms were notified by our e-procurement system. 30 firms reviewed proposals and requested packets. 4 firms requested packets, 3 firms submitted a proposal. 3 firms were evaluated, scored, and ranked. The top firm was selected for negotiations. 1 firm from Baton Rouge, Avant-Garde Consulting, has been contracted to perform IT services for our agency. Also, a request for proposals for marketing and branding services was advertised in the Advocate. 5 firms were evaluated, scored, and ranked. Negotiations held with the top-ranked firm, SSA Consultants of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. SSA has been contracted to perform agency-wide marketing and rebranding services. And a strategy meeting was held with SSA Consultants and other partner contractors to develop a coordinated and integrated marketing strategy going forward. In addition, an inventory management system or plan was drafted, presented, and approved by upper management. The plan will track chain of custody on all agency non-expendable property from purchase to assignment to disposal. There'll be no missing or lost property going forward. The director mentioned, the CEO mentioned the computers for our computer lab. They were procured in compliance with Attorney General opinion, suggestion, and part of good public policy. 8 desktop computers and a printer, so our seniors can click away and learn some new things, internet and some programming, so they're happy about that. The purchasing department is working with the agency's I&A department to develop and implement an inventory tracking system for its Lotus Pantry. The system would track food receivables, count stocked items, record distributed food items, and order food items as requested by our clients. The purchasing department, in conjunction with the CEO, will be drafting a request for proposal specifications for the agency's proposed master plan initiative. And in conclusion, the agency posted an RFP request for proposals for its prescription drug program that was posted in the Advocate. As of today, we have 5 requests for packets from local pharmacies. And the deadline on that is May 1st. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Will. If you don't know anything about after Will, you will know the laws and the numbers. Okay? That's his report. Next, leave policy.
Okay, good morning. I'm sorry, I didn't need an introduction.
No,
Loud
come
enough.
on.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry.
Afternoon.
I'm just going to take up a few minutes of your time to discuss a proposed date change for our current vacation policy. On page 16 of our handbook, our vacation is earned by years of service. From 1 to 5 years, you have 5 days of vacation, 6 to 10 years, 10 days of vacation, 10 or more years, 15 days of vacation. What it is, though, on May 15th of every year, it's a use it or lose it. You're only able to carry over 40 hours of vacation time, and anything in excess that has not been taken by May 15th, you lose it. What we're proposing is a date change to coincide with our fiscal year. Everyone knows our fiscal year runs from July 1 to June 30th. So the only thing that we're proposing to change in this policy is the date from May 15th to coincide with our June 30th, and change it to June 30th to coincide with our fiscal year.
Which allows our employees a longer opportunity to take their leave, because what happens is, come a week before May 15th, everybody wants to go on vacation,
Right.
and we're short-staffed, and I end up having to run a senior center, which is not a good thing, because they get their way. But, so this is just so that we can allow our employees more opportunity to take their vacation during the summer with their children.
Makes sense to me. So, do I hear a motion to accept the change in the vacation leave policy? Second? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor Jackson.
All right. Professor Jackson, you want to talk to us about the bylaw committee meeting that we had?
Okay, so the bylaws committee met April 11th to discuss, get to it, Section 4 in our bylaws, which is concerning the composition of the board. And the reason for the meeting is because there is no mention in the bylaws currently of a Metro Council member being on the board. But everyone knows that we have always had a person from the Metro Council on the board. And so we met to come up with a proposed amendment to the bylaws as it relates to composition. And I believe the proposed amendment is also in your packet. And you see the highlighted portion. And so under Section 4, paragraph B, we are proposing to amend it by adding a statement, in the event no member of said Metro Council desires to serve as a, I'm sorry, let me back up.
Right.
Go back to the beginning. 3 members representing public or private agencies which serve the aged, such as Social Security Administration, AARP, local colleges and universities, community hospitals, state and local agencies, and elected officials, one of which shall be a member of the Baton Rouge Metro Council. That's new. That was not in there previously. In the event no member of said Metro Council desires to serve as a member of the board, then their seat shall be filled in accordance with the remaining requirements of this paragraph. Also suggested is that we provide for that Metro Council seat becoming vacant because of resignation of that member. And we have heretofore always had whoever the person was that was resigning recommend someone to take their place. We think that we would be better served by having a provision in here that simply says, when the Metro Council seat becomes vacant prior to the expiration of the board member's term, the vacancy may be filled on recommendation of the Board Development Committee and a final vote of the full board, but only for the service period until the annual meeting of the EBR COA in accordance with Section 8 hereof. The Board Development Committee shall have the responsibility of contacting members of the Baton Rouge Metro Council to obtain the names of those members interested in serving on the COA Board of Directors. A slate of names of the interested Metro Council members shall be placed in nomination at the annual meeting of the EBR COA to be voted on by members then present pursuant to Section 6 hereof. That way, it's not in the lap of one person. There's a process for it.
So in essence, for instance, Councilwoman Lewis is having Councilwoman Banks to finish her unexpired term, which happens May 15th. So May 18th at the annual meeting, the membership will get to vote on whomever is interested, as well as Councilwoman Banks as being the person that maintains that seat. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So this is, I was wondering, are you all familiar how we usually, if this is a Metro Council designated seat, first of all, am I clear?
We didn't have it designated previously, but now we did because of the CEA that we came up with, y'all, and y'all asked, we want a member, and so we said, okay, but then we realized we didn't have appropriate language to do
Because what we usually do is, we go through our, when we appoint boards, nominations are made among the Metro Council, and then the Metro Council votes on the designee.
And so we're going to come to y'all and say, hey, we have a vacancy, which you'll already know, and then it'll be up to y'all. If y'all want, whatever happens on your side, we don't have anything to do with.
That's all I'm trying to make sure, so it is consistent with what we do. So you would get in touch with the council administrator.
Yes.
And say, hey, we have a vacancy.
Then they will put it on the council, and the council votes on whoever they want to be appointed.
And if two of y'all want to run against each other, the seniors are going to vote on it.
And what's the term?
The term is 3 years.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's consistent with what we do.
Okay.
Except for the only exception is, so this has to go to the state, and because we're state created and federally designated, that they want to make sure that at the end of the day, that the membership who really runs the council votes on the people that they have representing them. And so even where I'm concerned, the membership votes on me as the director, which is the seniors, and not necessarily elected officials or people with or other folks. The membership votes on.
That's consistent.
Okay, great. Well, good. So do we need a motion to adopt the new language to the bylaws? Do I hear a motion?
No, wait.
Don't we?
Wait. A motion to send this draft to the governor's office.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. They have to approve it.
They have to approve it first.
So let me amend that to say I need a motion to send this, our proposed draft to the governor's office for approval, and then we can vote to adopt it.
Yes.
But motion to send it, okay. And then second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, great. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right. Where are we at?
Certifying the last bylaw changes. Number 2.
Board of Directors bylaws certification?
Yes.
You're gonna have to help me on that.
At our last meeting, the governor's office sent some technical changes to the bylaws. We have since done them, submitted them to Elderly Affairs. They approved them. Now they just need on the record that you certified the changes that we made at the last meeting, so we can send them. Do you have a resolution? You should have a resolution. We just need the resolution read into the record and And those bylaws changes will be a
He has a specific resolution on the technical change?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
We need a motion for
I
this.
didn't see. So do I hear a motion for Dr. Cole to read so that we can accept the resolution for the proposed bylaws changes?
I so moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay. Dr. Cole.
Board of Directors bylaw certification. This is to certify that the Board of Directors of East Baton Rouge Parish Council on Aging reviewed its bylaws dated 11th day of April 2018 at its Board of Directors meeting on the 20th of April 2018 and found them to be in compliance with the Governor's Office of Elderly Affairs Policy and Procedures Manual 1161. The bylaws dated March 20 have been revised. If the bylaws have been revised, a copy of the current bylaws will report to GOPA by a letter of transmittal dated April 23, 2018. The bylaws are found to concur with the agency's Articles of Incorporation.
And then do we have the motion to accept the resolution? Motion
Make
to.
a motion.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Okay, so board chairperson report. Okay. As y'all probably remember, we were looking at that 1747 Main Street building, which was the AKA building, the sorority that's right next door to 1701, where we're putting in the new main center. We were in negotiations with them. We kind of went back and forth a little bit, and they have decided that they do not want to sell.
Yes.
So
perfect.
we're back at square one on possibly putting admin in a separate building. I know, Tasha, I think we had talked about talking to an agent who's going to be looking for us and trying to find us something. But it was disappointing, but they decided they want to keep their building. So you want to talk about?
So we reached out to an agent to send us some property, commercial listings in the area of the Main Street building. And we do have some alternative sites. And so what we would like to ask Madam Chair, the staff, if you could recommission the ad hoc committee to look at the properties that the agent is proposing, so that we can determine if that's a great location or not. I do know the Royal Furniture Building is a prospective site. There is a FEMA lot between the 1701 Main Street building, AKA, and Royal Furniture. And Royal Furniture is going out of business, and with some of the things that we are attempting to do, and some of the CEAs with the medical community who wants to put a geriatric care management clinic within our facility, they want to pay to build that out. It might be a great location, but if you could get the ad hoc committee to get back to working on prospective new sites, it would be great.
Stay on the ad hoc committee. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. We can reconvene the ad hoc committee and take a look at, make appointments, take a look at those sites and see if we like them.
Okay, great. Zachary Center.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we also looked at a place in Zachary, and we kind of went through it. We had somebody come in and check it out for possible abatement needs and, what we would need to do to get it up and running. And the committee, looking at it, decided it was going to not really be worth our while to do all the stuff that needed to be done. It costs too much. Apparently, this person may have altered the building themselves, and it wasn't up to fire code, and so there was a lot of work that needed to be done before we could ever open the doors, and we just didn't want to commit to that location in that right now. So we're still kind of looking around, not actively, I don't believe, but looking around in Zachary for another place to move the center to, but that didn't work out for us. So the ad hoc committee.
And now that we're in talks with BREC, we're also going to see if they have something in the area that would be feasible so that we don't have to purchase a building in the Zachary community. We can utilize something that's already existing.
Right, and I think, and I don't think you said this, but, or you may have, but I might have missed it. The BREC is not going to charge us rent for those locations.
No rent.
So that we would be able to put new centers up over like by Kenilworth and all that, and it's going to be free to us except for having to put an employee in and having to, bring like the congregate meals and stuff like that. So that, I know she talked about the BREC thing, but I kind of did want to circle back to it. That is huge, like that we can open up new centers almost immediately and not have to pay extra money to get them open or to have them be in good shape for us. These are buildings that aren't used, during a school year from 8 to 2:30. Kids are in school and, people are at work. So I think it's huge. So I was really excited about that. So anyway, that's just a little side note. And then 1701, Dr. Gilmore, you want to talk about 1701 or?
1701 is still in the design phase. Part of the issue is because we'll have so many seniors accessing that location, they are trying to figure out the best way to put staff and seniors all in one building that is just going to be too small. We are in front of a senior housing development and right across up the street from Catholic Presbyterian. So we will have seniors coming in this neighborhood, walking literally across the street. And so we are trying to figure out the best way to do that, the best way to enlarge the kitchen without breaking down walls, because HUD with the Gustav Ike money only allocated $3.1 million for this project. So they're trying to figure out how to do all of that, stay under budget. And so if we could ascertain our own administrative building, that would alleviate some of the stresses of trying to design this building where everything can function out of it. So they're still working on it, the architects, and hopefully we'll be hearing something back from them, because as you know, with the HUD funds, there is a 5-year window, and we've been working on this project with the city for like 3.5, so it's coming. We have to get to groundbreaking, and or if not, some of the money will start having to be paid back. So they're working as quickly as they can.
So yeah, and so the people who touch the seniors on a daily basis would remain in that building at 1701, and then people who aren't necessarily as hands-on would move into what we're calling an admin building, someplace else, and then that'll give the seniors more room, more space for their places to eat and do their yoga and Tai Chi. So I just think it would be beneficial if we stuck admin someplace else, but hopefully nearby. So in case there's any issues, Dr. Gilmore or Ms. Amar can get over there as quickly as possible and address it if necessary.
Right.
So,
okay.
So that's my report.
All right. Dr. Gilmore will do the board resolutions.
Okay. There are 4 board resolutions that we need. These are related to grants that we've already applied for. And in the grants, they required us to have board resolutions, but due to the timing of the grant deadline and the board meeting, we couldn't get full, board resolutions, and we alerted these funders of that difficulty, and so they allowed us to apply for the grants. But we're here now to ask you to approve board resolutions to apply for those grants. The first one is the most exciting. All of them are exciting, but the first one is exciting because we've already gotten a response letter. So guess what, y'all? We have made history.
Yes.
We are the first organization to apply for vans from the Department of Transportation and Development that received more than one in their first application. DOTD has awarded us 5 transit vans.
Mini buses.
Mini buses. They are 12-seaters, right?
Yes.
12-seater vans. Basically, they will be tailor-made to accommodate our seniors and those with disabilities. Again, they normally only award the first-time applicants 1, but we applied for 5. and we were awarded all 5. And we pay 5% of the cost, and the state pays 95% of the cost.
Yes.
So don't get too excited, though. There's a bureaucracy there. We have to go through lots of training. We are in the process now of developing a transportation logistics, you know what I mean, plan.
We will have to hire CDL drivers.
Yeah, the state has requirements for us to access these vans. And basically, we're going to, and this is in response to the needs of seniors who CATS may not always work best for them as an option, i.e. walking a half a mile to get to us. So now we'll be able to pick up seniors and take them where they need, and those with disabilities. We can't use these vans for Meals on Wheels. It's against the state requirements, but we can use them to transport seniors anywhere they need to go.
Yes.
And so they are tailor-made in Detroit, so they won't arrive until March of next year. And that's also, during that time, we will have to complete paperwork, put together our plans, go to trainings, and then they are designed and on the assembly line and come to us in March of next year.
I just want to say kudos to Corey and Dr. Gilmore. They've worked on this for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and they got this done very quickly. So thank you to them.
Thank you.
So there should, I don't know if there's a resolution or just a motion, but there should be a resolution for that in the packet.
Oh, yeah.
Authorizing resolution.
Yes. Yeah, read it in the record. Oh, it's long.
Yeah.
Do we have to read all of this?
I mean, I've done this several times, and a motion to approve the resolution has sufficed in any board I've worked on.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve.
All right.
Second. All those in favor? All right.
All right.
So the next one is, we applied for a grant from the Louisiana Children's Trust Fund. They offer many grants. As you all know, we're having a senior expo in October of this year, and we've asked for funding to support that. How does it relate to the Children's Trust Fund? Because again, as I talked about earlier, we're looking at ways to connect seniors with young people and children, and mentoring and nurturing and coaching relationships. And so we applied for a mini grant from the Children's Trust Fund. Haven't heard back, but to help out with that conference in October. Motion to approve that is what we're requesting.
I make a motion to approve this resolution.
Second.
I second it.
All those in favor? All right.
We also, as you know, part of Trudy's responsibilities is the intergenerational program. And so, again, even though we have taxpayer dollars, if we can leverage that with more dollars and grant dollars, we're going to seek them. So we did apply for about $50,000, I think, to add to our intergenerational program from the Children's Trust Fund. And that's what that resolution is for.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
I second it.
All those in favor?
And the last grant, help me out here, Corey, this is one that we've applied for before and received. This is the Huey and Angelina Wilson Foundation grant, and what is it for again?
Yeah, this
Come to the
grant,
mic.
Come to the mic, Corey.
$40,000, also to be used for intergenerational programming.
Gotcha. So this is to kickstart our intergenerational program.
Yeah.
40,000 that we've applied for. We haven't heard from the last 3, but we have the
Does
first
the
one.
intergenerational program also include seniors raising grandchildren?
Yes,
Okay.
grandparents raising grandchildren.
Grandparents raising
Yes.
grandchildren. Okay.
Matter of fact, today while we're here, we are one of the head sponsors of their conference and their symposium that they're having right now. So the other half of my staff is at the grandparents raising grandchildren.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
And so do we have a motion? And a second?
I second it.
All those in favor? All right.
So I know it's been a long meeting, and I'm not going to keep you long. Under the CEO report, Mr. Will has a procurement. He gave us the report. I think he needs to make an amendment to his procurement policy that you all voted on last board meeting. I have it right here. You need to amend.
It's just in order to align more closely with regulations under Louisiana Public Bid Law, Louisiana Procurement Code, we would like to adopt these proposed additions to our current policy.
Okay.
The underline.
Yeah. Go ahead. Where is it? You need mine?
I saw it. Hang on.
Procurement.
The underlines. The proposed additions are underlined. I'll read Section 2.0, General Provisions. The Chief Executive Officer shall be responsible for the establishment and continuous execution of good business-like purchasing procedures, which are to be handled by the agency's purchasing agent in conformance with existing future laws, regulations, etc., which properly govern such purchases or contracts, and contract labor will be governed by the following sections.
Okay. Then page 3, 7.5.
Section 7.51A, determination of award equal proposals. In the rare case when two or more proposals are equal in all respects, example, each of the proposals were awarded the exact same number of points as a result of the evaluation of proposals received, and the firms are equally responsive and responsible. Award shall be decided by drawing of lots or other random means of selection. The proposer who submitted his/her proposal first or earliest is not an adequate random means of selection.
Okay, cool.
Section 8.0, professional services, AE, legal, CPA. Proposer exclusions, Section 8.1. In order to ensure objective contractor performance and eliminate unfair competitive advantage, contractors funded to develop or draft bid specifications, project requirements, statements of work, invitations for bid, or requests for proposals shall be excluded from competing in the procurement, unless covered under exceptions of Public Bid Law Revised Statute 382217.7. As per Federal Regulation 24 CFR Part 24, contracts shall not be awarded to debarred, suspended, or ineligible contractors. Almost done.
No worries.
Section 8.3, bid opening. All bids for public works construction projects exceeding $152,500 threshold shall be opened publicly and read aloud. The bid opening will be at the discretion of the agency head or purchasing agent. In the event of unforeseen circumstances that would postpone the bid opening, the bids will be opened at the same time and location the next working day if applicable. As under revised statute 382214, bids may be postponed or rejected for any just cause without re-advertising. Okay, and this should be it. Section 10.0, bonding requirements. Bid bonds, surety bonds shall be required on projects exceeding the $152,500 threshold of the Louisiana Public Bid Law, and as provided by other state statutes. If such bonds are required, failure to provide same shall result in rejection of the bid as provided by law. Bid bonds and surety bonds will not be required for the purchase of materials and supplies or for services, but shall be required for public works construction projects that exceed the threshold, and/or where an extended performance guarantee is required by the council. Bid bonds shall be 5% of the price bid in addition to the following: 20% cash escrow and separate payment and performance bonds each for 50% or more of the contract price, 25% irrevocable letter of credit and/or performance, payment bonds for 100% of the contract price. Bonds may be in the form of a bid bond or surety bond written by an acceptable surety or insurance company as required by state law, or in the form of a cashier's check or certified check. Section 10.1, insurance requirements. Proposals and bidders who are successful in being awarded contracts with the council shall be required to carry and present evidence of either general liability, professional liability, workman's compensation, or automobile insurance coverage within 5 business days of having received a notice to proceed from the council. Insurance coverage amounts shall be conveyed within the scope of work documents. And I lied, one more.
No, there's another
Section
one.
11.0, sale or lease of surplus equipment or property. Surplus movable property owned by the council, including materials, supplies, and equipment, shall be sold to the highest bidder at public auction or to the highest bidder submitting a sealed bid or quotation after public advertisement, or may be donated to a local nonprofit entity in accordance with regulations established by the purchasing agent and according to Louisiana state law. Surplus electronic devices or computers may be also transferred to other nonprofit entities in accordance with the provisions under Louisiana Revised Statute 49125.1 as amended.
One more.
One more?
One more.
Last page.
Last page. At the bottom.
Okay, I'm coming. All right, and non-collusion, section 14.0.
That's a Trump one.
Non-collusion.
Non-collusion. A non-collusion acknowledgement form shall be completed for all council procurement agreements and contracts. Failure to complete a non-collusion acknowledgement form by an awarded contractor or potential proposer bidder shall disqualify said proposer bidder contractor from the bidding process and are receiving a notice to proceed. And that's the change.
That's the changes. Just make a motion to accept.
Do I hear a motion to accept these changes? All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Thanks, Will.
You all see that Will takes this seriously. Okay. And last but not least, just a brief report from me. Dr. Gilmore and I have been meeting with all kind of consultants, community advocates, people that work in the geriatric field. And we are asking the board, we are going to do an RFP to do a master plan for our agency. And a master plan is a comprehensive study of an area, facility, or organization that will describe the short-term, long-term, medium-term development plans necessary to meet our future demand. Because what we've learned since implementing these new millage funds is there is a lot of demand for help and services. And so we want an organizational master plan that will approach a strategic improvement plan that will lay out a well-defined roadmap for the organization and our process. It'll be a vision of the future, beginning with today's realities, a clear and intentional big picture view of the organization's future based on the hopes and culture and the DNA and the desire of our organization. And we intend on initiating our master plan that will cover 4 areas: an organizational master plan, a financial master plan, a facilities and resource master plan, and a sustaining master plan. And what we want to focus on for the future of our seniors, because we get to watch them struggle daily as they age, and we want to make sure they continue to be treated with care, respect, dignity, empathy, and fairness. And so we intend to be the city's leaders and visionaries for gerontology and aging for the parish. And our focus will be holistically on providing a continuum of care for housing, health and wellness services, and nutrition services. And our concentration will be on the protection and expansion of home and community-based service programs, innovative care opportunities, a variety of health-related support. And so in our plan, we intend to create what we call the Lotus Village. And in this village, we'll have housing, independent, and assisted living. We will have health care management, home care services, nutritional services, assistance with activities of daily living, socialization programs, long-term and transitional care, and of course, access to critical needed service, i.e. transportation and the eradication of senior insecurities. And we aim to support these with social, medical, functional, nutritional needs of our seniors, and it has been determined that the village methodology allows older adults to remain in their communities, delaying or even preventing the need for institutional care. The village community will also encourage volunteerism, reduce isolation, and create a sense of community or family. And so we intend on expanding our footprint in senior housing. We have the Dumas House, which houses about 64 residents with a 500-person waiting list to get into these 64 apartments. And the only way you get out is either the senior gets very ill and has to go to some institutional type living setting, or they die. And so we know that there is a great need in our city and in our parish for decent housing for the elderly. So the first thing we want to do is focus on housing. We also have been in talks with Care South, and they want to do, along with us, a joint collaborative effort to do the first geriatric healthcare management on-site clinic in our city, in our facility. So they want to come where the seniors are. And in this clinic, we will have preventative care coordination, diagnosis and treatment of disease, primary care of chronic illnesses, dentistry, audiology, eye care, pharmaceutical services, health, home medical equipment, behavioral health services, case management, memory care, rehabilitative therapies, comprehensive continuum of care planning, long-term care, and transitional care. All this in one facility that they're going to pay for along with us. We're also going to do some home care services. We're going to expound our footprint in the homes, nutritional services, homemaking, personal care, socialization, medication management. You just don't understand how hard and difficult it is for seniors in the home to get confused and taking their pills. They take it 2 or 3 times. Matter of fact, we got a call yesterday. The lady couldn't figure out anybody else to call but us. She overtook her medicine, and my social worker had to call 911, go meet her, and that saved her life yesterday. Financial planning, personal care plans, counseling, transportation, errand running, the chore program, laundry. We intend on doing, we have been in talks with Together Baton Rouge about doing a nonprofit grocery store aimed at the seniors in this community, particularly in food desert areas. And Dr. Gilmore will expound on that. A fitness center, an aquatic center, a wellness program, a library, a computer center, a sustainable garden, senior employment resources, and adult daycare center. That's what you call takeover for seniors. And that's this master plan. Will is going to do the RFP to put this out to get them to write this program. While we look for locations to start our village, we're looking for a 25-acre tract, and we have been in talks with the mayor of Baker. He took us on a tour. We're looking at Baker, and we have Dr. Gilmore, who thinks really large, has also been talking to the folks at Cortana Mall as a prospective site for our village. So these are some of the things that we are working on. We are working all day long, and I think Dr. Gilmore is going to talk about the grocery store. Yes.
The building on, what is that, 38th and Gushyoung?
38th and Gushyoung?
Not the fire station.
The fire station. That is, and Dr. Gilmore is about to talk about that too. That is the prospective site for our intergenerational program, where you, Ms. Pat, being a retired educator, and the group over at the Butler Center of Retired Educators will come in, work with the seniors, tutor them, and at the same time, work with the children. And the children will in turn teach technology to the seniors. So it's going to be a multiplicity of activities going on in the intergenerational center, and I think he's going to expound on that.
Yeah, I want to talk. Tasha's given the vision. Okay, and it's a grand vision,
yes,
and it's something that we absolutely can do. So as it relates to the Gushyoung Fire Station, the RDA did transfer that fire station to a local faith-based nonprofit in the area. From what I remember years ago when we wrote the policy on the RDA and creating the RDA, it talked about if you don't put that building back into commerce within 2 to 3 years, they can take it back and give it to someone else. So we're now in talks with that group of faith-based leaders in hopes that they will turn the Gushyoung Fire Station over to the Council on Aging so that we can then put it back into commerce for our intergenerational program. That was something that was talked about during the tax millage campaign. It's not anything new. And as it relates to the grocery store concept, as you all know, Together Baton Rouge for many years, I think since 2013 or 14, has been an advocate for finding solutions to our food deserts in our parish, especially those areas of our parish that don't have grocery stores. And so that is something that Together Baton Rouge has brought to the table with us, the Council on Aging, because part of our mission is health and nutrition, and many of our seniors are in these deserts that don't have access to grocery stores. And so we have met with Together Baton Rouge, as well as a partner they brought to the table, Hope Credit Union, in hopes of planning out a small or some type of nonprofit or grocery store that could help meet the needs not only of our seniors, but help fill maybe fix some of that desert problems that we have here in our parish. And so thank you, Edgar, for being here, and thank you, Broderick and that group for coming to the table and having those discussions with us, because that is part of our long-term vision also.
So that's what we've been working on this first quarter, as well as implementing 8 new programs to go align with the 18 programs that we had already. The council is working, and in order to find that out, all you have to do is ask the senior that participates, and they'll let you know. Just a couple of announcements. Annual meeting is May 18th at 4 o'clock. You all have to be there. You have to be there, be on time, because the seniors will vote to keep you or not.
So you might want to show up.
So you got to be here and be on time. Other upcoming events that we have is the senior prom, right? It's June 8th at the Belle of Baton Rouge. We will have a king and queen from each senior center who will come to the center. The seniors are looking forward to dressing up in their tuxes and their dresses, and so we're asking people, if you have some gently used gowns that you're not using, to donate them to us so we can give to seniors to wear. We already have about 500 or 600 seniors RSVP to go to the prom, and they're going to have a night of elegance, and because a lot of seniors didn't get to go to their prom, or they couldn't afford prom, so this is a chance for them to relive the past. And then we also have the Senior Expo that Dr. Gilmore mentioned that we will have in
the River Center, October 11th to the 13th.
It's a weekend Senior Expo.
Sort of like
almost like Life After 55, but it's going to be bigger because it's going to be Life After 60. And we'll have
October 11th, 12th, and 13th.
11th, 12th, and 13th. We'll have vendors from all over the country to come and show us the new trends in aging, the new canes, and the new bathtubs, and the new. We'll have classes. We'll have yoga. We'll have a senior fashion show. We'll have a senior sock hop. Just all kind of great things for seniors for the weekend. We're gonna have a senior gospel explosion, Pastor Cyrus, where they're gonna sing, and we're gonna let you come and give us a word. And Father Andrews. We're gonna have all
first meeting, Chris.
That's right, Father. We'll have faith-based time. We have a faith-based area where you all can get together. And so that's just some of the main things that we have coming up. And Madam Chair, that is my report. Anything else?
I don't think. If y'all haven't, I just was going to add this. If you haven't had time to go and check out the Lotus Pantry, go do it. It's really neat, and they really like it a lot. And then when we get those vans,
they can take their groceries home.
And this, I actually met with the Care South people with Miss Amar and Miss Dr. Gilmore, and they are really nice. They're very excited. The fact that they want to pay was huge. And they want to have maybe multiple sites, not just what Tasha was talking about in the grand scheme, but multiple sites where they take care of not only health, but dentistry. Stuff, things that people don't pay for when they don't have money.
On-spot dentures. They're going to do the dentures on spot. You don't even have to, it's like you wait for your glasses for an hour, wait a couple hours and get your dentures.
And if it's at the senior center, you can go have your appointment, go have your congregate meal, and then go back and pick it up and get on Dr. Gilmore's bus
and go home
and get taken home.
Go to your apartment.
That's right. So I'm really excited about all those programs. There's a lot of moving parts right now. Anybody have any other questions for us before we adjourn? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.